So, oh Lord. All right. So it is time for this week's episode of the Digital Weekly. And I am Kathy E. Smith, also known as Resource Rita.
Yes.
And today we're going to talk about key tips for hiring a social media manager versus a strategist. And so I have with me Jessica Walker. And Jessica, would you like to introduce yourself? And I have Leon all the way from the UK.
Hey there, my name is Jessica. I go by Josh Speaks Digital. I am a digital media SME, a creator of the VIC program where I help you schedule 6 months of content in a day. So I'll go ahead and pass the mic on to Leon.
Thank you, Jessica. My name is Leon Henry. I'm the CEO and founder of the company Caribbean Online Training. Been in this game for about over 15 years, and we help small to medium mass businesses with e-commerce and marketing and more.
So we've been talking, and part of our objective with Digital Weekly is not only to give you the scoop or the latest news in online marketing, digital marketing, anywhere you need to be online, but we also want to talk about some of the things that we've been hearing out in these digital streets, if you will. So as all three of us are consultants, and we help our clients and build their presence, grow, and generate revenue online. So one of the things, which is this topic is near and dear to my heart, because as I started to focus on being a social media and online marketing strategist, I started out doing social media management for people and clients, and I don't enjoy it. So I don't do it anymore, but I do help people optimize their profiles and help them determine which social media platform is best for them according to their customers or potential customers or clients. And so, Jessica, would you like to share? We're going to talk about 3 key tips or 3 things that you should consider when determining whether you need social media management or a social media strategist. So, Jessica, would you like to share?
Yes. And, so I was just posting this on Instagram because I'm also going to poll on Instagram about our conversation, right? So I think for me, the biggest thing that one of the questions that I get all the time is that I need help with social media, but I don't know where to start, right? And so we wanted to talk about the difference between a strategist and a social media manager. There is a huge, huge difference. So number one, we're going to start with understanding what your needs are. So when you go through and let's go with a consulting company. You're a consulting company. Maybe you do business strategy and you decided, I want to get on social media. You got on social media with the intent to promote your services and the products and things that you do. Then you realize that you're also having to deliver the services as well as trying to promote on social media. So you're having to be in all places at all times, and you can't do that. It's very difficult to do that, right? So in that instance, what would you go for? Would you go for a social media management company to help you with the posting and the promotion? Or would you go with a strategist, right? So I'm going to open that up to the panel here, Leon and Kathy, and let's go ahead and go a little bit deeper into understanding what you need, because that's tip number one, is to understand what you need.
So before we get into that a little bit, I also want to say that if you are hiring a social media manager, there are different pricing tiers. So if you want the social media manager to come up with the content, that's a premium price. So that's a different price than if you just want somebody to schedule your posting for you. So let's start with that, because there's a big price gap with that being said.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people, they jump into it and they're like, oh yeah, I just need you to schedule content. Okay, so where's your content? I don't have that becomes the problem, is that there's no content to schedule. So now you're looking at, and that's where you bring in the strategist, right? That's where you're looking at, okay, I actually need to start with the strategist first. That's someone that's going to help me get those things together, my messaging, how to utilize and repurpose content that I've done before. And then let's go ahead and define what content is, because a lot of people just think it's blog posts, and it's so much more than that.
Well, I think, as I always say, you don't know what you don't know. And it's quite important to understand it. We have lots of people in the webosphere making it sound easy. Do we have a team first? Yeah. Think with the end in mind when we're doing this thing. It's a large operation. Everything on the internet is a process. So choosing a person, are they best fit? Do they understand the problem at hand? Have they tried it themselves? Because we've got people in the industry, they talk the talk and they don't walk the walk, as we say. It's impressive as it is. And again, and as a business, this is you as this is your team, and you wonder why you hire this strategist or this person that you're choosing to do the work, and 2 days later there's nothing done. They're asking you, what do I do? And they ask you questions you don't understand. So there's a lot of things you've got to put in place when we're choosing the right person for the job. And just like anything, you go to an interview and you choose them, you should actually understand what you want first. I think it starts with yourself. What is it that you really want, and what problem that we're willing to solve? A bit of a loaded answers there, but I think there's lots to think about from a business owner point of view. Understand yourself, understand the problem first that you have, and try to articulate it to the person that you're choosing, and they must fit the criteria to solve the problem.
I also think too, you need to know the level of detail, and which we're going to get into on the second part, which is analysis. But you also need to think like, do I need to know my numbers, or do I just want somebody to post my content? Because there's a big difference. There's a big difference in price, and there's different reasons why you need to know that information.
And so now I want to just share this really quickly, right? The contentmarketinginstitute.com has the definition of content marketing as: content marketing is a strategic marketing approach focused on creating and distributing valuable, relevant, and consistent content to attract and retain a clearly defined audience, and ultimately to drive profitable customer action, right? So I think a lot of people miss the focus on creating and distributing valuable, relevant, consistent content, right? And that could be in the form of memes, videos, whatever the form is of the actual content in itself. So bringing that back around to what we were just talking about within hiring, Leon is very right and Kathy's very right in understanding kind of what you need first and what you have to deliver.
And a strategist comes in on understanding the needs also too, when you're trying to decipher what your needs are for your content, because a social media manager could just take your content and schedule the post, and that's it, and just make sure it gets posted, whereas a strategist may take it, well, should the right strategist should take it a little deeper, you know? So,
That's what we're talking about, right? We want to make sure they're supposed to make sure that it actually is relevant, like they said, and valuable to the correct audience.
Right.
So they should be doing an analysis of your audience to make sure you're talking to the right people.
and you know, that's my thing, right? Audience, right platform, right tools, and right resources. So,
So why do you guys think a lot of people complain about not being able to see results from utilizing either a social media? I don't think they use strategists. I'll be honest with you. I don't think people know where to find a strategist. I think that's the biggest problem, right? They go looking out thinking they need a social media manager. So why do you think they have issues when they do this, when they go and they get a social media manager?
Well, first of all, they are, well, answering the results. You don't ask the right questions. And as you clearly pointed out, what is a strategist and what is a manager? Well, I mean, okay, let's put a manager. A manager just manages something. Strategist, in the day, you put together a strategy. Two different people, two different approaches, and two different problems they're going to try to do. Now, again, if you don't know what these are, know what their roles are, you would never know, because guess what? Yeah, that's why you're coming to them, because you don't know. So, but obviously, if you don't know the results, well, the key thing a lot of people want is more of something. More could also be dangerous if you don't know what you're doing. All right, it's like baking a cake. If you add too much flour, obviously it collapses.
I'm so glad you touched on that, Leon, because I'm so tired of people asking for more followers.
Yeah, more likes.
I want more followers. For what? What you gonna do? What you gonna do with it? If you don't have no strategy behind it, what you gonna do with more followers? And then the thing is, are you even serving the people that are already on your page? Even if it's 100, even if it's 50, are you still serving the people that have said, "Hey, I want to see more content from you"? Serve them first, and the others will come because they'll start to share.
Followers do not equal funds.
There you go.
Facts.
Tweet that and tag us.
Yeah. Well, it's amazing that we say these things. I mean, how many people do still follow this, understand this situation? Yeah. Again, and they're still trying to drive traffic to something that's not working. And does the strategist tell you that, or does the manager tell you that? And does the manager tell you to go and get a strategist, or the strategist got to get a manager? So this is, it's very, very, very difficult. I can see, and if you don't know on the day, I don't expect you to get any results.
Well, also too, people tend to think that I've heard that strategists think that that's just a fancy name. They want a fancy title, but a real strategist is helping you come up with a strategy, not just what to post. I mean, just posting. And
posting for the sake of posting.
Exactly. And as for me, a lot of my clients are in the financial or insurance industry. And so they have compliance. Like, you can't just post anything. You have to use tools and resources that have filtered them for compliance, because it's regulated. So you can't just put anything out there. You know what I mean?
Same here. I mean, with a lot of my clients, they're usually in like healthcare or wellness industries, something like that, where right? We have HIPAA compliance, we have things like that come into play. And so you're absolutely right. There needs to be, number one, you're using the right tools, but then the content that you're putting out there, it has to be put out there in a certain manner, in a certain way. And I'm all about personality, right? So it's like having your personality in it, but then also doing it in the right way so that the audience gets it and it's relatable. So yeah, those are all things that you need to think about. A social media manager is not going to tell you that. They're going to just take whatever you give to them, or create something for you that may just be very generic and bland. But as long as you have post up, if that is your intention with it, to as long as there's something up there, then that's when you're going to go with a manager.
Absolutely. Now, one of the things that I think that we can add value to, if you enjoy this conversation, put something in the comments and let us know, because I have a social media questionnaire and things that you should ask before you hire someone, versus a social media manager versus a strategist. This is more for a social media manager.
That's awesome. Yeah, put a Q in the comment section if you want to get that sent to you, and Kathy and I will make sure that you receive that.
Yeah. And I have a friend, shout out to Antoinette Blake, who is the Delaware blogger, and I can give her a shout out because neither one of the three of us do social media management. And Antoinette does social media management for her clients, and she has premium pricing per platform. But what I love about that, because we had a conversation about her pricing, is that she doesn't just post, she also provides the analytics behind the post, which is something else that you should look for when you want somebody to do social media management versus a strategist, because it's not to say that social media managers won't give you any statistics, but if they do, then goes more into their pricing. So
even when they give you statistics, do you understand what they're really doing? I mean, again, they may say, I'm going to provide statistics. What does it really mean? Is the statistics converting into sales, or what is the end result? Because remember, we said you want results of some sort. And how do you measure the results within your business? This is what you're paying for.
That's a great point. So let's break that down a little bit. So your analytics are going to be, number one, it's going to tell you if the content that you're creating is relatable to your audience and if they're actually engaging with it. And then give you a guide of what you should be creating more of, right? And so that you're really talking to them. But as much as I hate the numbers, because I really can't stand the numbers, I do use them. But then I also use them as a guide to also who is interacting with the content. And then if I should DM them to start a conversation to get more insight. So I'm a proponent of getting on a call with someone or bringing someone into a live situation where, I get to talk to them and ask them a little bit more and understand the client a little bit more deeply, or the audience a little bit more intense, right? So I am a huge advocate for doing that. Audience research, to find out what they want, how they're interacting with it. What do they really like about that post? I was on a call with actually someone that follows me a little while ago, it was a day or two ago, and they were saying, yeah, I love when you changed your jacket and you put on the suit jacket. Now, every time I talk to them, they talk about a suit jacket. So I was like, okay, so now I need to make sure that my posts also infuse something about my suit jacket, because that's an ongoing theme that they really connected to and related to. Because I think a lot of people relate that back to, professionalism and, wearing a suit jacket and not feeling like themselves. When they take off the suit jacket, they feel more relaxed, all that good stuff. So yes, I love the fact that he brought that to our attention, and we need to start to have more conversations around not just checking the analytics, but understanding your actual audience, because that representation of numbers is an actual person. It's people. Talk to them.
It's people.
People. Go ahead and put people in the comment section.
And so also, like, piggybacking on that, is all social platforms have some form of analytics. I mean, running in the background. Now, some platforms require you to use a third-party tool, but if you are on Pinterest and that is where your audience, you should have Pinterest for Business. Why? Because Pinterest for Business gives you data or analytics on the clicks and where people are coming from. And just like Instagram, if you use Instagram for business gives you impressions and reach, and it gives the ability to connect to you directly through your phone number or your email versus a just a personal account. So
Oh, and I want to just acknowledge L Boogie. Thank you so much for L Boogie. Thank you so much for being here and saying people in the comments. Yes, girl. All of those people are people. It's so crazy that we look at these numbers and we just think numbers, even with followers. Those are people. Those are human beings. Okay, let me take that back. Some of them are people. Some of them might be bots, but some of them are people.
Wow.
Oh, I want to say something because I think as marketers, we know the difference between like fraud and not. So someone inboxed me on Instagram just yesterday and said, whoever was managing your social media got you fake followers. Now I know you're fake because I've been the only manager and all of my following has been organic. So,
but go a little bit further into that, Kathy. They had no profile picture, clear indicator. What was the other thing?
They had no post, no followers, and no picture. And
they're betting on you not to know this. They're betting on the fact that maybe you don't know, so I can get you in your DMs to send me a Cash App or something like that, right? So just be very weary and go and look at people's look. I always say, Dave Allure has this saying that your energy will snitch on you, but I like to say your marketing will snitch on you. If you just take a look at the marketing of these people and you scroll all the way to the bottom of their feed, they will tell you everything you need to know. If they don't have anything about where they're starting or they're not being, because you'll see a progression in the feed of when you first start, and then they'll start to get, and the people that are really genuine and wholehearted, usually they'll keep most of that stuff on. Now they may delete some of it or archive some of it, but the majority of it, I'm talking about Instagram specifically, but majority of it, they will keep, because they also too want to see and track and look at their progression. And even for you may have been posted on Instagram, and if you go and scroll, you'll see how you've progressed and you've moved along on this journey, right? And if you're authentic and real, that'll show in the post. When you fake and all that other stuff and you just want to do it for the followers or do it for the gram, you're going to start deleting and moving stuff around, or you only see Bentleys and airplanes and stuff. And it was like, dang, okay, so you ain't never had a struggle? That's a problem. That is an issue.
I think where it starts off with, again, if you are unaware of the whole social stuff, and first time you get an interaction for the very first time, not doing the due diligence and obviously knowing to go down and scroll down, this is where you would interact with somebody just to try and say, wow, I got my first time visitor and they're asking the question. Now, in the instance of this, some marketers will do the sort of phishing technique, as they say, where to cast something to Kathy, but they don't know who they're talking to. Now, again, majority of people who commit fraud and cybercrime, they will fish in a way just to start a conversation. And, they may say hi and alert you and do all these types of things, the behaviors. So, yeah, just to be aware of these types of things. Not everybody is the scammer or the fraudulent person, because there's some people that this genuine communicate like that, unfortunately. And to try to differentiate the two, it takes a bit of education to speak, and that's why we're here, to educate you, to understand. When your particular staff look at fraud and the right person, all right, some people may not have a picture because obviously they may be new, they may not want to disclose themselves, but as Jessica said, take the time out to just do a bit of due diligence first here. Don't fight fire with fire. Yeah. Stop look and listen, as we say, before you cross the road, and ensure it doesn't ruin your brand along the way. Go ahead.
Leon trying to give us a whole firefighter warning and everything.
I'm trying to put out the fire.
Stop, look, and listen before you get that DM in yours.
No, that's what you've got to do now. Go ahead.
And also yesterday, I also got it. It sounded very flattering. Okay.
Oh.
I got a direct message again on Instagram and asking me if I wanted to be in the top 20 social media people to watch in 2020. But it's only $499. No.
Holy, that's cheap.
No.
Well, here's the thing. Here's the thing. You first and foremost, right? Okay, so I need to pay you in order for me to be listed in this top 40. Did you go look at their profile? Did they have a profile picture? What was?
I didn't even. They were like, they sent the link from 2020. I mean, from last year. I didn't even look at it because if you're not familiar, if you're in the media arena, you know they don't charge you for that.
That's first and foremost. But I mean, also too, you know, you should know a little bit better, right? You should know better. Because first and foremost, I don't know you, and you just hopped into my DM. I got a DM too, and I was telling you of someone just like, "Hey, would you like to come to my Women's Summit event?"
We haven't had a conversation.
I don't know you. Why are you in my DMs asking me to come to an event? Same thing here on LinkedIn. And I'm going to say it to the person that's following me because I don't care. Don't DM me asking me to respond to you. If you don't know me, we ain't had no conversation. You ain't said, hey, what do you do? You haven't even tried to have a conversation with me, but yet you're in my LinkedIn DM, or what is it called? PM on LinkedIn, whatever you want to call it on LinkedIn, saying, hey, I'm looking forward to your response about the thing I just tried to sell you. Are you freaking kidding me? Who do you think I am? Okay. I'm not Boo Boo the Fool. Do it look like I got Boo Boo the Fool written across my forehead? Do not. So I think what I'm going to start to do is I'm going to record a video that just says, I'm not Boo Boo the Fool. Stop trying to DM me on LinkedIn. Thank you. Goodbye. No, I don't want to talk. And then I'll be the bad person. But that's just what I'm going to do because I'm like, look, listen, if you don't know, first of all, like, know, and trust, it tells you right there. First of all, I would need to like you. And if I don't know you, I can't like you. Second of all, if I don't like you, I can't trust you. Because now I really don't like you. So I'm not going to talk to you. Okay, I'm done with my venting.
No, but if we haven't even had a conversation, just don't. Maybe that should be the reply. Just don't.
Just don't. Or maybe I'll put on a video. Don't.
Yeah.
Yes, Boogie, they stay in my DMs, and yes, that irritates me too. So I think that is another topic for another day, but how to properly network on the different platforms, because in particularly on LinkedIn, people will say, I can do your social media or video marketing, and that's like one of my skills. And I was like, clearly, you haven't read my profile. Because if you're offering me the same skills that I do that is in my LinkedIn profile, then clearly you haven't read it. And you're
I blame Gary V. I blame Gary Vaynerchuk. Is it Vaynerchuk? Gary V. He tells people to go and DM 10 people and tell them, no. Okay? No. First, what I need you to do is go like some of my pictures. Actually follow me and then DM me. Then I'll be like, oh, okay, this is the person that came and liked like 10 of my pictures. and they actually followed me. So, you know what I'm saying? They commented on something.
Or they commented the post. At least you know that they've seen you and not just like, I'm going to target her.
So we're going to give y'all some free games, some free strategy real quick. If you want to sell on, let's go with LinkedIn because we're on LinkedIn, then comment on people's posts, actually engage with them and talk to them and share some of their posts as well. right? Really have a genuine connection, and then hop into their PM and go, hey, I've been seeing some of your stuff. It looks really great. Would love to hop on a call with you just to whatever. And if you're not, and I'm not, don't DM me this because I'm not hopping on nobody's calls no more. I'm done with that. Um, but if you want to be a guest on my podcast because you have a podcast or you got some dope content, then shoot me a DM. But other than that, I'm not doing the whole T chats for no reason. But that was from Leon. Leon told me to do that. So blame him. So, so do that and then hop in and go, hey, I saw a missed opportunity for you, or I think I have something that may be of use to you, right? So have an actual reason as to why you're connecting with someone. Learned that from Leon as well. Don't be in those DMs or just DMing people nilly-willy, and you haven't done any work on the forefront to share their posts, to look at their posts, to connect with them, or anything else. So that's free game.
So it's like going on a virtual date and expecting to go to second base. That's a whole nother conversation.
Girl, skipping all the way to third base. Just meet me at the hotel. Okay, I'm gonna call you an Uber.
Just come. Don't know you.
I just saw you online. I'm gonna call you an Uber. Go ahead and hop in there and meet me at the motel. Like, for real?
You don't even know my name.
You don't know my name.
That's okay. I don't need to. Yes, you know.
I love that, L Boogie. Stay out my DM. I love that.
Oh, yes. Hashtag stay out my. Now that is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna make a video. Hashtag stay out my DMs. Don't just stay out my DMs because I don't know you. I don't trust you, and I'm not gonna buy your thing. Stay out my DMs. Hashtag. Then I'm gonna say L Boogie. I'm gonna credit you.
So wrapping it back around. Like, I love this because it's just natural conversation, but wrapping it back around to analysis. Analysis of your social media.
That is number 2. Analysis of your social media.
So we were just saying that each platform has some way for you to get data. And even if it is not natural to the particular platform, there are tools that you can use to get that data so that you're not spending time on the wrong platform. So Jessica was talking earlier about how someone was going to delete their business Instagram, because they weren't getting enough engagement. Maybe you're just on the wrong platform for your business.
I mean, and then in addition to that, if you have followers already, even if it's 50, right? So I would say a solid 50. Now, if you got less than 50, then yeah, you might want to just say, Instagram is the place for me. But then that also is contingent upon how many posts you do, because a lot of folks they'll have their social media platforms, they'll get on, and then they'll post like once a week or once every 2 months, and then be like, I don't have no followers. You haven't put in any work to do anything. Are you engaging on the platform? Are you posting consistently at least 3 to 4 times a week when you first start, right? And then once you get some traction, you can cut that down a little bit. But are you actually putting out content that people want, not just flowers or a picture of your feet, but actual content that people want and that's valuable to them? So look at it as, how can you put that educational piece and how can you bring value to the platform? And I was just on a call with someone and they told me that I said this in a live stream and I didn't even realize I said it, but bringing more positivity to the digital space. Positivity is profitable. So if you could just bring more posts and you're bringing more positivity, I guarantee you, without a shadow of a doubt, someone will like and comment if you're bringing more positivity in your niche, in your area. If you're sharing information and educating people and bringing information to the platform, you will get that engagement. So look at the post that you're creating. Are you creating enough posts, first and foremost? And then secondly, are you also engaging on the platform? And people will start to engage if you're bringing that positivity, because positivity is profitable. But if you ain't doing nothing, then yeah, you need to figure out what platform is right for you. Because obviously,
so I'm going to use that as a post. Positivity is profitable.
Oh, it's coming. I got my captions guy working on it because I don't write. That ain't me. But captions guy is working on it right now.
Well, I mean, I think it does extend back to you as a business. I mean, it was obviously your quote unquote digital social media experts. I mean, do they come up with the ideas, or do you come up with the ideas? The more that they follow, again, if you don't know what you want, and someone's just told you to go out and do it now, and you're unsure about what's going to happen, I think we'll question the source here. Yeah, because we are going down the wrong route, and this is what happened. A lot of people are getting the wrong people based on other people's success is not your own. Yep. And what has happened here is we've got to question some people's websites to see what they do. Because if you look at carefully, they have success rates based on other people. This is what we call resumes in the day. When they come to your business, do they understand your business and what you do as a business? And what are the, as this Kathy is pointing, the legal sides of here of what's really going on? You just can't just post anything in anything. It can wind you up into dangers if you're unsure about marketing and strategies. Yeah.
Yeah. And shout out to Gigi. I also see Gigi is tuning in. Hey, because we were talking with Gigi earlier, Leon, about text marketing and how there is compliance. So,
So
there's
Gigi
that.
needs to come up next. So we'll schedule that with Gigi so she can come up and talk about text marketing.
Cool. Yeah.
Yes, especially if you're on the Clubhouse app, text marketing is huge because that's how people are getting people on their list. And I don't see the banner flashing, even though I activated it, but we are going to put it in the comments and just say to text Digital Weekly, and you can text that to 1-833-214-3326. And that's the words Digital Weekly to 1-833-214-3326. And if you catch any of us looking down, we're looking down because we're trying to get on the different platforms to view your comments.
Yeah.
And to share, because we think this is important that people really need to know.
Absolutely.
Because we have a passion for marketing. I could talk about marketing every day.
Same here.
Hey, I second.
Except for free, doing work for people. That's a different story.
So, one last, the point number 3. Jessica, do you want to bring that on home?
Yeah, let's do it. Know the difference, right? So know the difference between a social media manager versus a social media, or I like to call myself a digital media, because I like to look at the whole ecosystem of what you're using, not just social media by itself, but how does that connect to your website, connect to your email marketing system or your CRM system? How does all of those things work together? Your payment processor, everything. How does it all work together in order for you to either get paid or become an authority figure, whichever your intention is to move towards, right? So the difference between the two, we've actually pretty much touched on those two differences. It says it right in the title, you guys. Social media managing is going to manage, but you also need to have a conversation with them. Are you actually going to think too? Or are you only going to be a bot and you're just going to post? So if they're just going to post, then you know what you're buying. You're buying into someone just literally only becoming an employee, to be honest with you, right? They're not going to think beyond and above anything else. It's just, you told me to do this, got it. I'm on it. I'm doing this. Whereas a strategist is you're actually paying for the process and the systems of getting things together, but also some thinking and some creative ideas, content ideas, all that good stuff. You're paying for their brain. You're paying for the fact that you now get to the lower level of how much you need to think so that they can think for you or help you plan and think out some things as well, right? So those are the two differences on both of those. Don't expect a social media manager, but some of them do both, but don't expect that manager to do anything above and beyond just management of the content, right? Making sure that it gets posted or gets to where it's supposed to be.
But definitely keep in mind there are different price levels for social media management. If you just want them to post, that's one price. If you want them to post and come up with content, that's another price. If you want them to give you stats, content, and posts, that's a whole nother thing.
You want them to give you content posts plus be on your Zoom webinars and monitor the chat and put up your landing pages. That's a whole, if you want them to do design, because a designer is not a social media manager. Hate to break it to you guys, but a design person and a social media management person, two different people. If you're paying one person right now to do it, you're amazing. You have an amazing social media manager because they're doing two different jobs when you should be paying two different people. And if we get into copywriting, that's a third person, right? We look at websites and website update, that's a fourth person. These are not all one and the same. So if you need more help with that, DM me. That's when you DM me. But that's when you need to break it down of who do I need, right? Am I looking for a copywriter, a designer, a social media manager, a social media strategist, a website person, someone to build my landing pages, someone to do my email marketing, someone to help me with text marketing? There's all these different jobs, and it is not one person. You're trying to lay 5 different jobs on one person, and that doesn't work.
Ooh, I need to pay my VA some more money.
You do. You really do. Because, go ahead, Leon.
She's amazing.
Just to say, at the end of the day, it's not just a one-stop shop process. And just to tell you that, forget that whoever started, we need to do this, just one-off. This is an ongoing thing. So you got a very good budget. If you want to extend back to it, it's really understand this online thing. A lot of people are now just bolting this online thing on, but you've got to allot, how much of a budget in your business is going to take up. Yep. And factor this all in, because as Kathy says, clearly at the end of the day, there's no one set price. And you're asking for the world. It's very, very difficult for us marketeers to try to even communicate this message to you and start to price you on basically what you're asking for. Right?
And I bet not see none of y'all in the chat going on Facebook talking about my social media manager ain't working. When you want them to do captions and graphics and post the stuff and schedule it, those are all different jobs. And if your posts aren't working and you aren't getting more followers, it probably has to do with the relation between the content and the caption. There's no synergy there. And that's because you're expecting your social media management to capture your voice when you probably should get a copywriter to write your captions and just have that person post what they've created. But that's another stream for another day that we'll discuss another time.
I just want to go, before we wrap up, I do want to talk about analytics, things that are important. So if you're beyond just the platforms. So I want to talk about 2 things, and one of them.
You got tools for us? You got tools, Kathy?
Well, no, not just tools. Wow. There's 2 important tools that are not specific to. Well, it starts with Facebook, but one is the Facebook Pixel. And so the Facebook Pixel is a code that if a social media manager or strategist should inform you that you need to use it, but a social media manager should know how to get it so that they can give it to your web person. So that is a critical piece that you need, especially if you're going to do Facebook ads. What is a pixel? So one of the the easiest ways to explain it without going into a whole bunch of technical is a Facebook pixel is a code that you want to put on your website so that if someone visited it, that you can follow them. So if you've ever been on a particular website and then you went on Facebook or somewhere else and then you see an ad that follows you of the very thing that you were looking at, then that is the purpose of a Facebook pixel, is to kind of follow the person around and just say, hey, sure you don't want to buy this? But that is a critical tool to use as part of your analytics. And that's one of the questions that you should ask when you're asking about social media management. Do you know what a pixel is? Can you get it for me? And can you pass it along? Sometimes they will know, but a good social media person should, at the very least, be able to tell you what a pixel is and how to pass it along. Even if that's not something that they do, that's something that your business needs. And the second thing is, and Gigi will appreciate this because she is a Google Analytics master, you should have Google Analytics. And don't let someone charge you $400 to put Google Analytics on your website.
Who did?
The people have been charging that.
Uh-huh.
No, wait. Don't listen to Kathy. Please DM me if you like a Google Analytics, put it on your website. I will do it for $400.
Really?
I'm kidding. Do not
cheap.
pay anybody $400, but I mean, that's easy money. Like,
so
but don't ever
charge that. So Gigi and I have conversations about this all the time, but don't let anybody charge you for that.
If you want to pay somebody, pay me
$400.
Pay me. If you want to pay somebody, pay me. I got 6 kids. So at least you know that a portion of that is going to a good community organization called Jessica's Kids.
Wait, now I'm gonna put a spanner in the works here. Now, when we're talking about, you can actually pay someone up to $1,000 to do analytics to install. However, now it's what needs to be installed. Yeah, there's templates, there's Google Tag Manager, there's a whole bunch of things. It's conversion cookie, there's that total setup. But basic installation, we've got to be clear on this. Basic installation to ensure it's tracking. There is going to be a cost because guess what? You can't just get the analytics code and expect it to work out the box on a site that is not configured correctly or very, very bad. The troubleshooting to try and work that out is very good. I've had many installations of Google Analytics on the day. Unfortunately, it's placing wrong play. The people come back to you and say, hey, Google Analytics doesn't work. It's not tracking. Now, we have to troubleshoot that, and it comes down to, unfortunately, using a favorable unknown site. I'm not going to say, yeah. Yeah, we've got a problem here. Yeah, and we don't know. I've had problems in the day with some people who install Google Analytics, and they've got a combination of about codes all over the place, and they're checking 2 different sites, and they said, oh, my previous web dealer's got access to this, blah, blah, blah. There's about 7 different Google Analytics codes, and I'm thinking, where is all these accounts? And they start to blame me for it. But, if you charge $400 an hour, what do you do? Great stuff. Go ahead and do it.
So I'm glad that Leon said that, but in these cases, this is just for an install. They're not giving you any data. They're just saying, oh, you need this, and they're not doing anything. They're not moving beyond the install. So that's another topic that we should talk about. Like, what should you get and what is the benefit of a Google Analytics on your website. But without going into technical, because the goal of this is really, these shows are to educate you, but not overwhelm you.
Absolutely.
So what you need from Google Analytics, if installed properly, should tell you what people are visiting, what pages, and how long they're staying. And that is vital information, because it leads to what Jessica talks about, content. If nothing is moving people on your website, then you might need to constantly readjust until you get to a point where people are engaging. Even though websites are more like calling cards, or if you want to be a guest, but that's a whole nother show. But you should have Google Analytics on your website.
Yeah, and so I want to bring this to our end, and Kathy, I'll let you end it, and Leon, I'll let you say your last thoughts. I want to challenge you all, of you that feel like, I don't want to do social media, or no, I know I need to do social media, but I don't want to do it myself. I think I need to hire a manager. I want to challenge you to do your own social media for at least 3 months. And that means to post consistently, or schedule your posts utilizing like Planoly. If you're going to use Instagram, for LinkedIn, use like Later. Kathy, what's some other tools? Your tool.
Tailwind, if you listen, if you are watching this right now, Promo Republic is my all-time favorite social media scheduler, and I do believe right now they are offering. They have another offering of lifetime on AppSumo.
I gotta go get that. Thank you.
So run, like, do not pass go. Do not collect $200. Run and get Promo Republic. Okay. And here's why I love Promo Republic. Number one, not only does it allow you to format for the different platforms, but it also has a built-in graphic tool, and they offer you graphics that they are based on keywords, and then you can for the most part you can adjust the majority of the graphics to fit your brand colors. And they have different promos on it, like National Cupcake Day, National Donut Day, St. Patrick's Day, Women's International. So that will help you kind of post and integrate whatever your business is into some of these special holidays. But I love that it has graphic tools, and that it will either let you download them, or you can save them into your folder, kind of like on Canva. But and they're always adding new features. So I can't say enough about that.
And it's only $50. I just looked it up. I was like, oh yeah.
Before you buy, let me send you a link, because I am affiliate.
Yes, send me your link. So I get your. I was just about to say. So if you guys want the link to that, go ahead and DM Kathy, and we'll make sure that it's in our text messaging as well. I'll go ahead and add the link once she sends it over to me for text messaging. So make sure you guys are connecting with us. Once again, my challenge to you is to post consistently for 3 months. I don't care if you schedule them, even if you sit down and you schedule those posts. I want you to see what work goes into this. And if you've already done it yourself, then you've already met the challenge. So you know how hard it is. So I want you to understand that the reason why it was so hard is because you needed 3 or 4 different people to create the content and put the stuff together. You needed a strategist, you needed a design person, you needed a content, someone to help you write your captions, you needed somebody to research hashtags, and that's why it's so difficult. So I want you guys to just take that in and think about that and process that a little bit. If you're struggling, you don't know where to start, you're not sure which way you should go, DM myself, DM Kathy, DM Leon. Leon can also like shoot you in the right direction so that you understand what you need. To our 3 points again, number 1, was, and I don't have it up here. Kathy, give it to me. Sorry.
Understanding the need.
Thank you.
Okay. Number 2 was an analysis. And number 3 is knowing the difference. So, I encourage you, and if you are going to accept Jessica's challenge, I encourage you to allocate at least 2 hours. Like if you're going to bulk, like schedule for a week, at the minimum, it's going to take you 2 hours. And then you'll start to see not only the value in a social media manager, but then you won't squabble about the price.
And then after you start posting and you see that you're not getting any traction or that no one's clicking on the link in your bio, then you go to a strategist because you'll know you need some strategy behind what you're actually doing. Social media is not just about posting. There's so many other things that go along with that, right? It's the link in the bio, it's the hashtags, but it's also the DMs. It's utilizing all of the different platforms, all that good stuff. All of the tools that are on those platforms, right? Specifically, I like Instagram because that's just my jam, right? But they have IGTV. There's a whole suite. There's Reels, Instagram Reels. There's your stories. There's a lot that goes into it, So I'm going to be starting a show on YouTube called The Feed Weekly or Feed something. I'm going to make it weekly because, you're doing the digital weekly, but I'll make it The Feed something because somebody already has the feed. So it got to be something else on top of
it. The social feed.
Oh, I like that. I like the social feed. So
social feed.
Yes. So anyway,
we bounce ideas off of one another, but
that's what we do. Leon, I'm sorry, you're in the middle of us. So
no, it's okay. No, I think we've covered the doors, and I think the challenge is the most important thing. You go and try it for yourself, and it will give us a better understanding what and who you're hiring here, and as the points have been raised here when trying to find the all one fit person or the several people to work is it's a challenge that you're going to have. But again, if you do choose to get 2 people, the strategist and obviously the manager, at the end of the day, you've got them to work together, and that is the hardest thing because everybody's got a different way of doing things. But however, what is the end goal or the end result of what you're trying to achieve as a business owner? You are the one is trying to get that end goal because you know your business better than anybody else. So have that first, I would say. What is it that you're trying to achieve? And the others will tell you otherwise, and you've got to make a decision: is this right for your business and the day, and do you get the return on investment that you put out there? That's what I would say.
I love that because I always ask my clients or anyone that comes to me, what is your intention with social media, with digital media? What is your intention? What would you like to get out of this? Because you should be giving, but you also should be receiving, right? It's a give and get. It's on both sides. So when you give, you're helping, you're giving value, all that good stuff, but you also need to get something back in return. So understanding what your intention is and being very clear about your intention. And it's okay to say, I want to make money. It's fine. Great. Now, how are we going to do that? Whereas you're giving something, someone's getting something in return. When I go to McDonald's, well, I'm not going to say McDonald's because I don't go there that much anymore. But when I always use them as an example for some odd reason. Let's use somebody else. When I use Promo Republic, how about that? Kathy uses Promo Republic. They're giving her something in return for what she's paying for, right? She has a product that she can use. So I want you to think of yourself in that way as well. I always talk about us being colleges. When we share our information and education, we should be paid for that. Colleges are paid for it. We are all colleges. The information and the things we have in our minds and the things that we know, we need to get paid for. So when we give that information, someone should pay for it in return because then they're able to get another job or have another skill, whatever it is that they get from our information. So understand that you are a college.
And before we wrap up, since it is so related, I do want to share. I do have a free social media checklist. And if you go to bit.ly, lowercase s toolkit, and only reason I didn't make it SM toolkit is because someone else has that.
Well, they could just text us, Kathy. If you text the number, you'll get the link to it, and there you go.
Yep.
So that way you ain't got to type in nothing. All you got to do is text us. If you text us, we'll send you the link directly.
Yeah. So I hope that you have enjoyed this. We look forward to doing this more often. We're if anything, it's going to be bi-weekly. So let's commit to that first. But we could talk about marketing all the time. And we'd love to have Gigi on with us. And
And thank you to our special guest, Leon Henry.
yes.
Let's go ahead and pass the mic on to Leon. Tell people where they can find you, all that good stuff, because Leon's going to be coming in and guest filling in for us as well.
Well, you can find me on LinkedIn. That's the first and most foremost. You're going to see me a lot on LinkedIn. I've got a challenge myself. Got about 30 days worth of content giving you more tips about marketing and strategies. And guess what? I may even use this new little fandango that Kathy is putting to schedule the content. Oh, there you go. As I see, you can white label it as well. It's pretty good. Thumbs up for Kathy on that one.
Hey, Resource Rita to your rescue.
Yeah.
What do we call ourselves? The Digital Avengers?
This is Avengers. Oh,
I
wow.
like that.
Wow, that's mad. I like that. It is these costumes and hats and things like that.
All right. Cool beans. Thank you guys so much for watching. Passing it on to Kathy to close it out. Wait, where are you at?
No.
I never signed it.
So anyway, we have enjoyed this. What I love most is that although we had and we ended up wrapping back around, these are natural conversations about real life situations that people are dealing with their marketing, whether it's customers, clients, or ourselves. We're sharing information that we know that can serve you well. So that's all for this edition. Addition. See, bloopers. That is it for this edition. I can't believe I said it again. This edition of the Digital Weekly. And we appreciate you. Until the next time.